All right, yo, Jordan, man, what's up, man?
Not much, man. I'm just ready for 2020.
Ready for 2020, man. Yo, it's good to see you again, man. I interviewed you at an old show I used to have. Glad to have you back in the building, man. Yo, speaking of 2020, let's just jump right into it, man. Speaking of 2020, you got a new track that you just dropped like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about that track, man.
When they call me, I don't wanna pull up at the 5. Do you tell me that you're not ready? Cause girl, I know the way you think, and you're thinking that I'm not ready.
To be honest, I've been dropping a lot lately. I think my last track was either What It Looked Like or something else. I can't remember, to be honest. But
yeah,
even that, I'm looking to make a lot of changes with my music.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be switching up my style. I'm gonna be going back to what I used to be doing, a lot of rapping.
Yeah.
Less singing, just looking for a lot of up tempo beats and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, because on your Instagram too, I saw you had a post there when you're in the club. You're like, I want to get back to those vibes. I want to bring it back to those vibes. So talk to me about those vibes, man. Restore the feeling. Like, tell me where you're
honestly,
trying to go
those days I feel like I was more focused on myself.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get back to that because I spent like the last year, 2019, I spent trying to help other people, help other artists. And I had a bigger team. Yeah. I had like a group of artists, so it gave me space to experiment with my sound. But that kind of crumbled, so now there's no space to experiment. I just got to do sort of what I'm better at now, what I want type thing. Yeah. And I'm just going to get back to it, focus on myself, and just go from there.
Yeah. So you want to expand on that a little bit too? Like, because I know before, you had like a whole bunch of people, and then obviously you have the record label, and then you also have like the modeling thing too, right? Exactly. So is that what you're talking about, or is this more on the music side?
That's exactly what I was talking about. So some people may know, may not know, I started my own little record label where I had artists on my team that I was helping develop and stuff like that. Yeah. But it just got to a point where I felt like people didn't really appreciate it as much as they should have. And there was just too much disruption and this whole bunch of stuff that just threw me off course. So yeah, we kind of ended that. Like, I still have my label I want to build in the future eventually, but for now I'm just going to focus on myself, build myself up, and then go from there. As far as the modeling agency, that's still a priority, but I'm just going to run things a little differently starting 2020. And it's pretty much, that's it for that. True.
So are you trying to get more in line with like what's happening in Toronto right now? Because I know like Toronto R&B, like I love Toronto R&B, like you know what I mean. And some of your old tracks too were fire as well. But like, talk to me about that. Like, focusing on being an R&B artist to like kind of going to where you're gonna go now. Like, what are some of the challenges that you faced, doing the R&B type of thing?
During the R&B, I feel like it was hard to sort of gain momentum because I feel like people are really judgmental, especially when it comes to like singing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a huge difference between trying to be a singer and trying to be a rapper, because if you haven't been singing your whole life, which I haven't been, I was self-taught. There's a distinct difference, and people can hear it in your voice and stuff like that. So I feel like they really pick at that, especially for like someone that's not younger doing it. It's different. There's a lot more judgmental stuff, and just a lot more you got to focus on and really home in on if you're gonna come out as a singer, especially in a later age. You really got to focus, practice, do your 10,000 hours, and just
really put in that time. Exactly. Yeah, man. So talk to me about like the Toronto rap scene, man. There's a lot of guys that are popping. Even the younger mans too, like like LB and those mans, and I've seen a lot of those young guys like rocking high schools and stuff, and I like seeing that. But like, who are some of the artists that you are like looking at, like kind of like, I like this guy's style, or I kind of like the vibe that person's bringing?
There's a lot of talent in Toronto, to be honest. There's even a lot of guys that don't get recognition, but definitely LB. His sounds really good. Photo Philly, I believe his name is. Yeah. Who else can I think of off the top? I don't know. There's so much talent. There's just so much, like, it's hard to really pinpoint it. Yeah. But there's a lot of great artists. Even Rico from Brampton is really good. There's just like a ton of people, man. Yeah, there's a ton. That's the thing. There is a ton of people, but like, do you think like the Toronto scene's popping? Like, how can we get it to another level? Like right now, I feel like we're bubbling, but how can we get to that next level? Yeah, definitely. I understand that. I feel like we did plateau a little bit, and I feel like that's just because the city doesn't really work together that much. Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone's chest is a little too high, you know what I mean? And like in terms of, I feel like if artists were to collaborate more, and not only collaborations, but like even if you're not gonna collaborate with someone, if you were to share their music, you know, even share their posts and stuff like that, I feel like it'll have a bigger impact on the city. But a lot of people just wanna, you know, get it their way or get it for themselves. So if we were to share more and collaborate more, help each other more, I feel like we would be a lot farther as a city.
Yeah, I agree too, man. I agree too. Like, you know, the collaboration thing is key, right? And it all come together. But another part of the music too is like the performance side. And going back to what you were saying earlier with the club and kind of bringing that energy and finding those up-tempo records. Do you think that like the type of music that the city's making, like a lot of the artists are making, is like, does it lend to that? And then which lends to like doing parties where, you know, you can mix in the music in the high-tempo fashion and then kind of, you know, jam out to it and have a good time? Do you think that's missing from like the Toronto music scene too?
No, I feel like it's there because they create the hype, even if they know it or not. They create that hype from the image. I feel like it's all about perspective. And the thing that a lot of these Toronto artists do that is really good is in their music videos, right? They have all their friends like turning up to the song, you know what I mean? So it already gives that vibe that the song's lit, you know what I mean? So people associate that feeling of the visual when they hear the song. So even if the song sounds dull, they're going to associate with the video and be like, yo, the song's lit because the energy that was there in the song and everything. And if they carry that energy to performances, they'll do very well. That's
yeah. Do you think that Toronto needs more of that, like more of that in the space where it's kind of like, you know, I have a hot song, but what's the next step? Like I got like, you know, 100,000 views, but what's the next step? Do I take that and go to a club and kind of like, or do a concert, or, you know, what's the next step? Like, what do you think is the next step for the artist to kind of take that hot song and then kind of monetize it to get to that next level?
Exactly what I said before, collaborations. I feel like if they were to open up their minds and work with more people, it'll help, because at the end of the day, anything helps, you know what I mean? If they were to, and like I said, not even collaborations with getting someone on their song, but even if they have other people sharing their stuff, because even 500 views here, 200 views here, you know, if someone gets 200 story views, 500 story views, but if they're sharing your stuff, it all adds up. And when people keep seeing your name circulate on the internet, I feel like that really has a big impact on an artist's career.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree with that too, man. But for me, I feel like the live component, like a live component where it's kind of like, I can go out to a place and see an artist do their thing. I feel like, do you feel like that's kind of needed too as well, or like kind of like have like a local scene where it's kind of like all the creatives come together, and in that space, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like, we got Jordan Rhymes performing tonight, you know, we got this person performing tonight. It's kind of like a party atmosphere, but then there's also like the artists and, you know, like musicians and entrepreneurs and everybody, all the creative class comes together, right?
That would be dope. I feel like, I don't even know if anyone done something like that yet, but that would definitely be dope, because again, it's the same kind of sense of collaboration, whether they see it like that or not. But I mean, if you have a creator coming out who has a fan base of 100 people, and then an artist who has 200 people, and so on and so on, it all kind of mixes together, and it'll help everyone get out there and make more connections as a whole for the city. Yeah, I agree, man. But speaking of connections, lost connections, man. Like, you know, you touched on it last time, but let's reiterate, like, you know, the whole meaning behind the lost connections and all that. Okay, so Lost Connection was a brand I created because there was a point in my life where I felt like I kind of, just like now, I'm going through it again, but you know, it happens, you go through it and you'll get through it. But I felt like stuff in my life just went downhill, and I kind of lost connection with the vibe and everything that was really important to me, like the music, the family members, you know, just the real life stuff that's important to me. I lost connection with all of it, and through that, I created my brand, Lost Connection, which then I turned into my label that I'm working on, the modeling agency, and the clothing line that I all have sort of tied into one. Yeah. So that's where that's something I'm working on more into the future. Okay. So where did that entrepreneurial like spirit come from, man? Because most people just want to like be an artist, but it seems like, you know, you want to, you know, do a lot of different things. Where did that come from? Honestly, I feel like basketball taught me a lot of stuff in life, because if you play a sport or something, if you're really passionate about something and you have that drive, I feel like the key to everything is self-discipline, because if you're able to push yourself and want to work hard and do better in life, then you're gonna get really far, especially as an entrepreneur, because there's gonna be days when you just don't feel like doing it because stuff is not working, you know, it's not going good. There's no clients, there's no whatever you're doing, no clients, there's no audience, there's nothing, you know, and it takes that self-discipline to get up every day and want to do it. and write your songs or go out and practice your jump shot, whatever it is you're doing. You know what I mean? I feel like it all boils down to self-discipline.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Self-discipline and like you're saying, just keep doing consistency.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Consistency. But speaking of basketball, man, I didn't know you played basketball. So like, it was like, when did you start playing basketball? And tell me some basketball stories, man. Like,
I played basketball my whole life. Honestly, it's funny. I was telling my girl this the other day. I feel like basketball was actually my calling in life, but I just missed it due to unfortunate events, stuff that just happened. Yeah. Because like ever since a young age, like as far as I can remember, like growing up, we didn't have a lot, but I remember like we got a basketball for Christmas or something like that, and we had just like a backboard in the backyard. But I don't even know if there's a rim on there or something. But okay, there's a rim. It was stuck to the wall in the backyard. Okay. And then as soon as I got the ball, I was just like able to put through my legs somehow, and then for real, ever since then I was like a really good player. A lot of people knew about me. I had a few scholarship opportunities which fell through, unfortunately, just because I didn't have my practice test or whatever in place. So I missed out on that. But I feel like basketball was a huge part of my life, and like I said, it taught me a lot in terms of self-discipline and that mindset where like you want to be the best, or like you got to get it, whatever it means. So I feel like that helped me transition to music very easily.
For real, man. For real. That's pretty dope, man. Like, there's a lot of, artists who play basketball too, right? Like, who are some of your, like, artists, like, from Toronto? Like, do you ever play basketball with them? And if so, like, there's a lot of guys, like, there's what's with Andy. I saw him playing in some charity league.
I did see that. I didn't even know he played. I didn't know he could play ball for real.
Yeah. Well, he went to Ryerson, right? So he was on the ball team in Ryerson and doing all that, right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I never played with any of these guys, but because I don't know their age or whatever. But when I was playing ball, I always played a year up. I didn't play my age group. Okay. So I don't know if I don't even know if they played rap or whatever. I never really played with them, but
when you see clips of mans playing ball, like you see a clip of like Drake playing ball, are you like, yo, like if I was there, I'm this guy, yo, or like you see Toronto mans playing ball, like big up Guard Up TV, they go around and do the thing and record, but like, do you ever watch a clip from a Toronto man? You're like, yo, I can take this dude. Like that's light work.
All the time. I'm always ready to ball. I just gotta work on my cardio nowadays,
Yeah. But keep it on basketball, man. The Raptors they're killing it right now too, right? What do you feel about the Raptors? Obviously, we won the championship, but Kawhi's gone now. But what are your thoughts on the Raptors?
They've changed so much. Just last year. Yeah, and they're keeping the energy. Their guys are keeping the chemistry going. Even with or without Kawhi, they're still doing their thing. They're playing hard. Yeah, you can see it. The drive, the passion, everything. Yeah, they're still trying to be a championship team. You can see it. They're going hard, man.
Yeah. Who's your favorite player on the team right now? Like,
I'd have to say Van Fleet.
Yeah, Van Fleet's he's that dude, man. Van Fleet's that dude, man.
Because even when I used to play ball, that's kind of my style. I would just I was shooting, pulling from far.
Just splashing it. Yeah. Yo, that's sick, man. Speaking of the Raptors, there's an old Raptor, Patrick Patterson. I don't know if you've seen this. This is probably like, wow, that's probably like 3 weeks ago now. He made a comment saying that because he didn't like black women or whatever, right? He's like, I don't want a bulldog or whatever. Like, he's referring to black women as bulldogs. Like, what are your thoughts on that, man? Like man, wilding or what? Like,
I feel like that's wild. I mean, that's too far. Like, you don't gotta take it there, but if you don't like them, you don't like them. But I mean, to say something like that,
it's a little wild, right? That's what I was saying too. You guys wilding out a little bit there, man. Yeah. Speaking of wilding out, man, like social media is kind of a wild place. You know what I mean? Do you follow any you follow what's going on in the city, like Six Buzz and all these different accounts, like Real Talk Toronto, all these different accounts that are kind of posting what's going on?
I try not to follow too much, to be honest, because I feel like social media is a place where it can really make or break a person. And what I mean by that is a lot of people tend to go on social media and they end up getting depressed because they're seeing the way someone else is living, and they're like, damn, like, yo, why does that person have it right now? Like, how can I get there? And they just kind of beat themselves up about other people's success. So I try not to keep like a close eye on all that stuff, because I just don't want to get caught up and be like, looking at someone else's life, fantasizing someone else's life. I'm trying to like work hard, get it for myself, type of thing. Yeah. So, I mean, if I see the post, sometimes I look at it, but I try not to really keep up with it.
Yeah, keep up with what's
Pages,
going on.
Yeah.
What about like the kind of like the the personalities though, like like Bucks be billing and like Debbie and like you see like Top 5 doing his thing, like.
Yeah, stuff is that stuff's dope, and I feel like that's super crucial to make it as an artist or creator or anything, because the thing with building a fan base and building an audience is I feel like people want to fall in love with your personality before the actual thing that you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So if you're an artist, people want to see your personality before they gravitate towards your music. You know what I mean? And it's crucial for stuff like that to build like super fans or whatever, because people get really attached to you before the product you're selling. You know what I mean? And that's why I feel like those guys are doing so well, because they're not afraid to go on social media and be themselves, or you know what I mean, let people see who they really are as a person, because a lot of people are shy with social media even though it's behind a screen. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, well, it's putting your face out there too, right? Like it's a big thing, right? You're doing it on a daily thing, right? So it's kind of
is, but at the same time, it's like, if you could act like that in front of the mirror, there's no real difference, because it's not really like you're in front of the person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You do it to yourself on your phone and then you post it for people to see. Yeah, but
yeah, that's true. It's
not like you shouldn't feel shy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. It's not like you're performing
it,
live in front of an audience or something. You're saying,
yeah,
that is kind of true. I never really thought about it like
that's
that.
the way I see it.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting. But speaking of like social media, do you think like Toronto's like back in the day, it used to be called like the Screwface capital. You know what I mean? But nowadays, do you think it's the Toronto? Like, what do you think of Toronto? Is it like a lot of too many haters, or what do you think? Like, do you think that Screwface capital, moniker still holds up till today?
I feel like it's balancing out a bit. I mean, I do see a lot of people nowadays trying to work together, whether it works out or not. But I do see like a lot of people starting stuff together, like. An example would be Six Talk.
Yeah, big up Six Talk.
Group of people getting together. There's even a next one can't remember the name. It's some type of Toronto web series show. They're doing like a YouTube.
Okay.
A YouTube series of like people in Toronto.
Okay, dope.
Yeah,
maybe Toronto rappers, maybe one of those.
It's new. I don't even know. I think they have like 200 followers right now. They're very new.
Oh, for real, man. That's dope.
They're starting a web series for like people in Toronto.
Oh, that's dope, man.
And then, they're letting artists submit their music to be on the show, and like clothing lines submit their clothes.
Dope. Is it like what, like more like a sitcom type of thing, like or like a show, like a show,
or
like a Top Boy type of Toronto Top Boy thing?
Yeah,
I saw that. I think I saw something like that too.
Money and Violence.
Money, that shit.
You're gonna lose your life over nothing, man. I don't even understand that shit. Fuck it, homie. Have it your way.
Yo, man, Rafe. And what's his boy's name again?
There was Miz.
Miz and Rafe. Yo, Miz. Oh man, I love that show, man. That
that's
show
exactly
huge.
what it reminds me of. They're doing something like that for Toronto.
Yeah, that's huge, man. That's huge. What are your thoughts? Like, do you think we need more of those type of things going on in Toronto, like that? Dipping into, because think about it. There's a lot of writers. There's a lot of people who want to do like the news. There's a lot of people who want to do like the weather report and all that stuff. Do you think like Toronto needs a network, like like the streets need a network, like almost like a CP24, but less for like us and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel like that's kind of where Six Bus started, but
yeah.
Sorry, I feel like that's where they started, but they kind of shied away from that in a sense when they got bigger. But I feel like more of that stuff, absolutely, because even look at Six Bus, how many people they helped,
Yeah.
So like, there's a lot of opportunity, but like I said again, I feel like people need to open their minds a little bit more, because right now it's all about money. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's a lot of pages that have a great platform that could help a lot of people. Yeah. Change their lives, and it's not only the thing that people don't understand is when you change somebody's life, you're not only changing their life, you're changing the people around them too. Exactly. So it's a huge impact. You could help one person, and you're actually helping like 50 people behind them. You know what I mean? But these guys are just like all about money, bro. It's like $300 here, $500 here, 300, 5, 6. So it gets a little crazy, and that's why people that don't have a lot of money and stuff like that, they miss the opportunity. So,
I hear that, man. Like having those resources available to kind of just, like you're saying, like let's pull the trigger. I want to do this, I want to do that. It does. It does make things hard when you don't have access to those resources, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that. Yeah, that's hard, man. But what do you think? Like, so we talked about, obviously performance. Like, I want to get back to that because that's what kind of you want to get back into is like the club scene and all that stuff. Do you want to like travel and do that? Like, take your music and go tour like the States and all that stuff, or like go around the world? Like, what do you see? Where do you see that lane going for you?
Absolutely. I want to be like worldwide, but I want to do it solely with the team that I'm building. You know what I mean? I'm not really thinking like a major label deal or something like that. I'm like trying to bring up my team and we do it together. And then later on, if I have to bring someone in for management or whatever the case is to kind of help facilitate what I have going on, then that's the way we're going to do it. But I'm not too big on major labels and stuff like that, just because contracts and how tricky it is. Because I was with an independent label before, so I kind of know the ins and outs. And I had a lot of people approach me and talk about the industry and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really all about major label and then you have to be here when they say so. You have to do this, you have to do that, you have to dress like this, you have to
you gotta
sing like this, rap like this. You know what I mean? So
yeah, like they're pretty evasive in your art, right? Like, so do you have any like label stories, like people trying to like come and do that to you exactly, like, or like say like XYZ label says, yo, Jordan Rhymes, we really like you, but this is kind of the direction that we want to take you, and this is kind of what we see for like a marketing plan. Is that
I had kind of like 3 cases like that, sort of. One when I was actually first starting out. I was really new to music. I was like, it was probably my second or first year doing music. And I did a show. It was called the Velvet Underground or something like that at the time.
Yeah.
And some guys approached me after the show, whatever. They gave me a card, whatever. Long story short, I went to their studio. But what I didn't like is every hook that I made, he would get his boy to sing it. Because at the time I couldn't sing. So that's another reason why I decided to practice my voice and stuff. At the time I couldn't sing, but he would make, like, every hook I wrote, he would kind of make his boy sing it.
Okay.
And then he would make me do the verses. And just like the music wasn't really my style, it wasn't really where I felt I should be going. It was more like pop and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like commercial music. And their plan for us was to get assigned to Sony Records.
Okay.
Like, they had some type of deal with Sony, but I decided that it wasn't for me, and I just keep grinding it out.
Yeah.
My own thing.
Yeah. There's a lot of rappers that are actually like signed like to major labels, right? Like big up Next. You know what I mean? I'm just on Instagram right now, and so, like Toronto rap. They have a list of Toronto rappers who are signed to major labels. So like Press is signed to Sony, Swagger Right signed to Sony, Killy's signed to Epic Records, Smiley Warner Brothers, Pyrex Def Jam, Young Tory Def Jam. Like, if somebody came to you in a deal and said, yeah, like, you can create your own stuff, like, creative control is all you, but, you just hand it in and then we kind of handle the marketing. Would you be interested in doing a deal like that, or you just want to do your own thing and build it independent?
Something like that I'll definitely consider. I mean, we'd have to negotiate the terms, but even to get to a standpoint like that, I feel like I got a lot of work to do in terms of building my audience, because for an artist to have that type of leverage, you need a certain type of buzz or like credentials and stuff to back your name. Yeah. In order to be able to even negotiate something like that. But definitely later on down the road, probably. I mean, it really depends on the deal. But that's something like what Russ did, if you're familiar with Russ.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Russ is dope.
Build up a certain amount of audience, then you have a certain amount of say in the industry and stuff like that.
And you have the leverage.
But yeah, major labels, I feel like they're really only good for like the promotion, like if you're really trying to expand to a certain extent, because obviously as an independent label, you don't have the funds to back everything, right? Yeah.
So you kind of have their checkbook to kind of do what you got to do to get it off the ground, and then
or you could like get your label underneath a major label, some stuff like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what Drake did with OVO.
Yeah. But Drake's a similar, interesting situation, right? Because he signed the like Cash Money, then Young Money, then he has his own stuff, and then people under that, right? Like that's kind of interesting how he got in the game too. But big up Drake too. He's just I just saw on Spotify he was rated the artist of the decade.
I seen that song. Yeah, I think I seen something like that.
Yeah. Do you mess with, like, talk to me about that, like Spotify and getting your music on all the streaming services and stuff? Like, you've been independent. Like, talk to me about that, like, grind and behind the scenes of that.
It's been a lot of ups and downs, man. I had so many people come in and out of my life saying that they want to manage me, right?
Yeah.
And I really started getting my music on all platforms when it was a few years back. Some lady actually used to manage me.
Yeah.
She lived in the States. I never even met her. We never met at all, like face to face, nothing.
Yeah.
She used to manage me. She paid for my TuneCore. That was the first time I heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
Got my songs on iTunes and whatever, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But later on down the road, when she left for whatever reason, I literally just research everything. I always tell people, like, literally whatever you want to do in this world and whatever you want to know is on the internet. Just, you know what I mean? Research, search it, and you'll find out.
Yeah, facts.
You know?
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So getting to that, it's kind of like, I guess that manager came and did whatever she had to do, and
yeah.
You
know, there's a few of those.
Yeah.
That just come and go. So.
Yeah. They talked to me about that side of the game too, because that's a real side that, you know, most people don't think about, or artists don't think about, is that,
yeah,
you know, like that's where the money's coming from, right? And that's kind
of. Honestly, I feel like a lot of artists that say they need a manager at this point in the game, they're just being lazy, because they don't want to put in the work.
Yeah.
Or they just tell themselves, like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to get shows. I don't know how to do this. But literally, if you go out there and look for it, you will find it. You know what I mean? And I believe in that from, like, the law of attraction. Like, literally, whatever you want to do, if you start putting your steps towards that place, you'll find it, like, every path. Like, literally, like, if I was to say today, I want to start playing ball again, I'm going to go to the gym every day. And from going to the gym, someone's going to see me and be like, oh, yo, you're nice, or whatever the case is. Or, oh, do you play rap, whatever the case is. If you don't, oh, I do. Come to my child, come meet my coach. You know what I mean? Like, you'll find a way. So, like, even me being independent, a lot of the shows that I was able to land was basically just either me doing my research, my background work. Like, if I see an artist post something, you know what I mean? There's always ways to find it. If you see someone post, they normally tag whoever got them. Got them the interview, or got them whatever, you know what I mean? So stuff like that, you just look at it, analyze, find the person behind the scenes, get your foot in the door, simple stuff like that.
Yeah, and kind of build from there and stuff.
You just gotta put yourself out, and you just gotta go for it.
Yeah. And it's a lot easier to do that right now with social media and kind of just send DMs and emails and stuff.
That's why I feel like I don't really feel like anyone needs a manager at this point in the game, unless like, you know, unless you're at a certain level where, like, tons of people are trying to book you. Your emails are flooded. You can't do it yourself. Then okay, you need someone to take off the workload. But for now, it's like an unnecessary contract or unnecessary split or whatever.
Yeah. So you think it's just like what? You just got to put in more hustle, right, to kind of get it where they need to get, instead of like relying on other people to kind of do it for them.
Yeah.
Man, I hear that, man. I hear that. That's a big thing that's missing too. Like, but a lot of people don't know that though. A lot of people think they just need a manager. A lot of people, you know, they don't really, it sounds simple, but they don't really know like how simple it is to actually do that though, right? Like, until they actually do it. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I feel like they know it. They're just too lazy. You know what I mean? It's like, a lot of people wait for someone to tell them to do something. Be like, yo, come to the studio. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to go to the studio, find someone that has a studio. It's simple stuff.
Yeah. No, that's true, man. That's facts, man. Yeah, but before we split out of here, man, I want to bring it back, you know, to fashion, because you do have you have your modeling agency, you're selling clothes and stuff like that. What do you think about the Toronto fashion scene? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like,
I don't hear about too many like fashion events and stuff like that, to be honest. I don't know if that's just because, like I said, I don't really look for those type of things. Like I said, if you look for it, you'll find it. I mean, there's probably a lot out there, but from what I do see on Instagram, there are a lot of entrepreneurs that have like online stores or stuff like that. A lot of people starting out with their logos on their shirts, you know, the basic stuff, which is pretty good. I feel I see some people doing very well, so I'm assuming it's pretty good. But in terms of like events, I don't see too many events for fashion.
Yeah, true. What do you think about the Toronto like style though? Like, what would you say Toronto style is? Like, a Toronto man, or, you know, a female from Toronto, like what's his style like? you know, like New York, you think of like, yeah, there's Timbs and hoodies, or you know what I mean? Like go to LA, there's Vans and all this stuff. Like, what's the Toronto starter package per se in fashion?
Well, majority I would say North Face jacket probably.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the black pair of jeans. What's that next jacket called? I can't even remember the name of it. Even the Moose Knuckles pretty popular.
Yeah.
Do-rag.
Ain't the Dewey, man.
Dewey, the snapback. You know, the chains.
Yeah.
Yeah, basic starter pack.
Yeah. What about for the on the female side, on the women's side? Like, what's the kind of starter package on that side?
I don't know. I see a lot of females switching it up lately. So
yeah,
especially this year, it was all neon. Everything was green.
Yeah. That's true, man.
Everything was green.
Yeah, that's true, man. Like I was on your website too, and I was looking around, and like you actually sell like women clothing too, right? Like so you have like what inspired you to get in that lane, man, and like kind of service like the women and stuff too.
Okay, well to be honest, I always wanted a clothing line. Like, for as long as I can remember, I always wanted to own a clothing store, which is the plan later on. I want to get like an actual physical store inside a mall.
Yeah.
But the reason why I decided to go mainly female clothing is because when I opened my modeling agency, you know, I mainly have female models, so it made sense because they'll be able to push it more. You know what I mean? I have more female, so I might as well get more female clothes. It's just the way it happened. But even my modeling agency, I wasn't even thinking of creating an agency. It just sort of happened in January. So yeah, almost a year now, because people were kind of confused. They were asking like, is it a modeling agency or is it a label, stuff like that. So then I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna split up the two, so then it's more niche specific in terms of marketing. It's easier to market, that way it's less confusing to the audience. And then we went from there, and yeah, now it's almost at like 12K followers, stuff like that. So
yeah, man, that's dope, man. That's
looking
dope.
to push
that's
it
dope, man.
even more 2020.
Yeah, man. So so speaking of 2020, man, what's coming up? Like, what can the people expect from Jordan Rhymes in 2020?
I'm trying to be very active. I'm trying to be all over the internet, a lot more interviews. Hoping to get more songs on the radio. Looking to do more performances this year. Collaborations.
Yeah,
for sure. Collaborate with a lot of people in the city. Overall, just be more active and a lot more music. Definitely.
Dope,
you know,
man.
I'm not too sure about a project yet, stuff like that, but definitely a lot more music, a lot more up-tempo stuff, and going back to the rapping days, the 23 days, 23 nights.
For real, man. For real, man. So we're going to see you up in the clubs performing, ripping it down and stuff. And getting back to those days. That's dope, man. So, where can the people find you, man? If you want to find more information about you?
At Jordan Rhymes on Instagram. That's where I'm mainly active. All my social medias is Jordan Rhymes. Yeah.
Dope.
Everything simple, Jordan Rhymes.
Dope, man. Any last words you want to share to the people before we wrap it up, man?
Thank you for having me. So I want to say, I know you had Success before and now this, so that's dope.
Yeah.
You know, to see you coming back and doing your thing. Shout out to everyone supporting me, and much love.